Hello everyone, welcome to this morning's CAS Virtual Showcase webinar on Isaac Computing. My name is Tim Wilson. I'm your host today and I'm delighted to welcome Fergus Kirkpatrick from the Raspberry Pi Foundation, who I will shortly introduce. I am one of a team of CAS community outreach managers operating throughout the country. I'm responsible for managing the CAS Communities of Practice programme across the Midlands and a large part of the Southwest. And we do this as part of the National Centre for Computing Education. This webinar is the latest part of the CAS Virtual Showcase. We are now into day 9. Yes, just 2 days to go of our two-week extravaganza of over 50 webinars designed to support the CAS community. A little bit about our presenter today. So Fergus is a project manager for the Isaac Computer Science Events Programme. He is based at the Raspberry Pi Foundation in Cambridge. Fergus joined Raspberry Pi in 2019 and he has been responsible for developing a programme of events to engage, educate, support A-level computer science students and teachers and build awareness of the Isaac Computer Science platform. Before joining Raspberry Pi, Fergus was project manager for a part-time master's course at the Cambridge Institute for Sustainability Leadership. He has held various roles supporting business and academia in sustainability initiatives. And indeed, amongst Fergus's other hats, he has a BA in event management, an HND in multimedia design, and like me, he is one of those ennobled folks who are Raspberry Pi certified educators. Hurrah! A few bits of housekeeping before we kick off. If you have questions today during the session, please use the question window on the right-hand side of your screen to ask questions. As you probably know, if you've attended sessions during the virtual showcase, attendees are in listen-only mode. So this is our sole means of hearing from you. If you can't see the questions drop-down box, at the top of the window has an orange rectangle. This can be expanded or collapsed. So if you expand it, you will find the questions tab. If you're using social media, in particular Twitter, the hashtag for the event is CASVirtual20, and you will find Fergus on Twitter at PhonicFergus and me at CAS Midlands. But I will post all of these handles and hashtags in the chat shortly. Other than that, that's all from me for now. We will find moments halfway and at the end to field questions to Fergus, but without further ado, I'll hand you over. Fergus, it's all yours.
Thanks very much, Tim, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everybody. It's really great to join this CAS Virtual Showcase to talk about Isaac Computer Science today. And I guess one of the first things that I'd kind of like to do is see how many people have actually used Isaac Computer Science so far. So a question to you, if you could sort of put your hands up, I think, which you can do, to let me know if you've actually used it before. That would be really useful. So thinking 1 or 2, well, 2 at the moment. If not, that's no worries. That's why we're here. We're going to talk a little bit about the platform, the whole program, so the actual learning platform itself, and the events program and other features that support that. So as Tim said, my name's Fergus Kirkpatrick. I'm the project manager for the events program, and I am standing in for Diane Dowling, my colleague, who's one of the learning managers. So Diane writes some of the content, and I assist with the outreach and also kind of equipping facilitators to run events which use and integrate the Isaac resources. So what is Isaac Computer Science? So Isaac Computer Science is a learning platform that's been developed by the Raspberry Pi Foundation and the University of Cambridge. We work with so I'm based at the Raspberry Pi Foundation, and me and my colleagues write the content and deliver a lot of the program itself from the foundation. And our colleagues at the University of Cambridge are the same team that works with Isaac Physics, if any of you have used that learning platform or attended any of their events. So we benefit from a lot of the kind of learning and the pedagogical design that's gone into Isaac Physics, and use a lot of that in Isaac Computer Science. So far, since launching in July 2019, we now have 17,770 students registered on the platform. That's as of Tuesday this week, and we also have 1,876 teachers. We have various kind of statistics, I guess, on how many people are actually using and engaging with it. And as part of a DFE funded program, part of the National Centre for Computing Education, we have kind of targets for engagement, and that means how many students are actually using the platform and answering questions on it, and how many teachers are actually using the platform to set their students' questions. And I'll talk about a little bit some of those features shortly. But Teach Computing is the website, which is kind of the home of the National Centre for Computing, of which Isaac Computer Science is the A-level component. So what is Isaac itself then? It's a learning platform for teachers and students, and it covers all of the topics from the AQA and OCR content specifications from their exam boards. It's written in a textbook style, so each topic from those exam boards has some written materials to explain different concepts, and then at the end of each of one of those topics you have some questions, and the teachers can actually set these questions for their students, or students can complete them themselves and work through the material at their own pace. Alongside the kind of core content of those learning materials, we also have some other features. So we have some student competitions. We have a couple of these, which are primarily students kind of answering questions on the platform. We also have a project-based one as well, which I'll talk about a bit more shortly. And we have events as well to engage teachers and students. These are currently all online, but before, well, up until March, as many of you will know, we were doing face-to-face as well. So the content itself, is all of the different A-level topics for AQA and OCR, but we also have some GCSE transition topics as well, just a kind of handful to pick from to help introduce students to some of those topics and ask them a few questions about them. The topics are split into, apart from the GCSE, they are split into theory and programming, and we also have a short section for the NEA coursework project. I'm going to just show you what this looks like on our platform. So hopefully this transition works seamlessly, and you can all now see the topics page of the Isaac Computer Science platform. If there's a way to raise your hand if you can't see it, I suppose is the easiest way to do this. But as you can see here, we have the theory and programming, and we have this GCSE A-level transition section here. These are slightly shorter topics and just a handful of questions. I'm going to switch back to the slides now. I'll show you the computer coursework project here, the NEA project we have here. So the topics themselves, I'm going to just actually scroll back to the platform because I'll just show you what an example looks like. So if we click on number systems, and I will choose my exam board here. So this will give you just a quick introduction to what you can find in this topic, and then each of these drop downs is a subsection. So I can go and have a look at the natural numbers section, and it will give me some more options to kind of work through the topic. So there's quite a lot of material here to work through. Then I can move on to the next section under number systems and work through. So we've tried to, we're looking at ways to make the material really engaging at the moment. So we've got some illustrations and diagrams and equations to sort of help explain the different concepts. We're also working at the moment to actually build in a bit more interactivity into some of these sections. So adding some videos and other ways to kind of make it a little bit more kind of engaging. But at the end of each section, what you'll find is a set of questions, and these are just based on the materials that someone has read through. The way that they're designed is that you are only told if you get the question wrong or right, and this is on purpose, right? So if I click on this question, Instead of giving you the answer and giving teachers the answer as well, it just tells you whether it's wrong or right. And if you get it wrong, then you've got some hints to work through. So the first hint is just an explanation. If I click here, the second hint is a bit more elaborate, so kind of and gives you some links to help you find out the answer yourself or work it out yourself. And then the third hint here is actually a video hint. So this will open up a little video made by Craig and Dave. Not all of the questions have video hints, but a lot of them do. And we find this a really useful way to kind of support students in working the actual answers out for themselves. So I'm going to switch back to my slides now. We have lots of different types of questions. So we've got quite a few multiple choice. We also have some string and number answers as well. And we have some Parsons problems where you have to put the code in the right order. Along with the questions at the end of each topic, we also have we're in the process of adding more and more questions kind of within a topic. So in the section where I showed you on number systems, you can actually, as you're going through, it might just have a quick question about something you've just read. And these don't appear in the Markbook feature, which I'll show you shortly, but are rather just to kind of help people to digest what they've read about. So the end of topic questions, I'll just click on this link. So this would be what we've just looked at. So this is, you've got the materials here, and then you've got lots of questions here at the end of each topic. This has got loads of questions, right? And because we've been adding more and more questions to each topic. We started off with just the topics and then about 10 questions for each, and we're in the process of adding more and more. So it will be a bit more like Isaac Physics if you have used that, which is kind of the majority of the material is actually questions. So it will give you a lot more ability to kind of have lots of different questions on the same topic, so you can vary it a little bit with your cohorts of students. These links all kind of just show you some examples here. So here's a Parsons problem. We've also got the multiple choice. So I missed the link there, didn't I? And then the string and number one I've shown you already. So that's the actual topics and the kind of core material. One of the things I just wanted to mention is that what we call these questions at the end of each topic is a game board. And that's a kind of a term that we use quite a lot on Isaac. So we have like competition game boards. It's basically just a set of questions for a particular topic. So one of the other features alongside the kind of core materials that we have are student rewards. So these are our competitions. We have lots of Isaac Computer Science branded Raspberry Pi kits to give away. So it's not just the Pi itself, it's the keyboard and the mouse and all the leads you need. The only thing it doesn't have is a monitor. And we have a couple of different ways in which we run these competitions and give away these kit prizes. So we have a monthly game board, which is a set of 10 questions. It will be across a variety of different topics. Students who enter that and get all of the questions right are entered into a prize draw for a Pi kit. We also have a Big 50 challenge coming in August. So this is to students who've actually done 50 questions on the site, will be eligible to be awarded a Pi. And we also have this Create Your World project. So this is the more project-based competition. And for this, we ask for students to submit a proposal and a short video outlining a project that they want to do with the Pi. And we have a kind of a panel to review their proposal. And if it meets our eligibility criteria, then we'll send them a Pi kit to work on that project. We also have a new style of competition, which is Discover A-Level CS with Raspberry Pi, coming in September. More news to come about that soon. Okay, so we also run lots of different types of events. And the events are really to engage students and teachers, make them aware of the platform, and hopefully we kind of introduce some people to how to use the platform as well. I'll start with teacher events. So for teacher events, we run CPD, and these are delivered by different national centre school hubs and by universities around England. We are mainly doing online events, as I mentioned at the moment. Well, entirely online events, but hopefully longer term we'll move back to doing some face-to-face, though I think it will very likely be more of a mixed delivery approach. But what we focus on for the teacher sessions are, firstly, we go into some depth on different computer science topics. So it's an opportunity for teachers to get really kind of familiar with a different A-level topic, and also to well, meet some other teachers, network with some other teachers, and get some materials from that they can then go and use in their classes. It's also an opportunity to learn how to use the different features that are available for teachers on the Isaac platform. We have also been holding some sessions online where we just go through the different teacher tools and show you all how to use those. And I'm going to be doing some of that on Monday for a CAS A-level, a new CAS community meetup as well. The student events, we have a few different formats. We have booster sessions which are aimed at introducing or revising a topic on the A-level curriculum, and this is designed at trying to build understanding and confidence across the whole cohort of A-level students. These are all delivered by NCCE hubs and one or two by universities as well. The masterclasses are solely delivered by universities, and the masterclasses are pitched slightly differently. They are aimed at, or well, seek to stretch the skills and competence of confidence of competent A-level students. So it's an opportunity for A-level computer science students to really kind of go and dive into slightly more advanced concepts and go deeper into a topic. The way these have been delivered so far also provide a bit more kind of context, I suppose, for the way in which those concepts might be applied. For example, we had a session with Newcastle University, which was looking at biological modelling. The preparatory materials all around algorithms, but then they kind of looked at how that was could be applied in a real world context. And finally, the discovery events. The discovery events are also held at universities. We've also held one or two with some quite large companies and recruiters in computer science. And the aim of these is less explicitly on educational outcomes. It's more about inspiring students to pursue computer science at degree level and also computer science careers. And so we have a mixture of industry speakers, computer science graduates, and degree students talking at those. So far, they've all been face-to-face. They're quite large-scale events, kind of around 100 students or so. And we're looking at ways that we can emulate some of those sessions online as well. I'm going to just kind of pause there quickly to see if there's any questions. I'm going to go on to talk about the sort of registration and the teacher tools on the platform in a bit more depth, but I've seen one or two questions come in, so maybe this is a good time for me to pause and take a breather.
Cool, thanks, Fergus. We haven't had any specific questions, just a few comments, supporting comments around courses coming up and what to look out for. So if someone's asking about the object-oriented programming course, and of course I said that most of these courses that you run are rerun regularly, so if you don't get on them first time, be patient because they are worth going again. So yeah, so that's all I said.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Oh, thank you, and thank you for the supportive comment. Yeah, absolutely. We've had I guess since going online with our events, we have experienced huge demand for these. For lots of reasons, I suppose, but partly because it's a lot easier to go to an online event and with without the kind of travel arrangements and things like that. But everyone being and working from home has obviously kind of helped with that. We have been doing our best to try and run repeat sessions where we've had really long waiting lists, and we do have some more dates coming up in July as well. So if you have been able to attend, and that's great. If not, then hopefully there'll be something coming up soon that you'll be able to join. But we were very aware that there's been sort of more demand than we've been able to meet very quickly. So we're doing our best to meet that as we can.
Exactly. Yeah. Two very quick questions have come in. Is there a way for teachers to monitor student engagement, question answers? Are students associated with a teacher on the platform?
Yes, to both of those. I'll talk a little bit more about some of the teacher tools in a moment, but in summary, as a teacher, what you can do, you can request a teacher account, and when you do that, you can create a group and invite your students to join that group. And when they do that, it does two things. It means that you can set them the questions from the platform that you choose, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But it also means that you can see their progress, and there's a kind of a progress field for each person registered on the site, and it shows you how many questions they've done and a few other statistics. So when a student agrees to share or join a group, they also agree to share the data that's held about them on the platform regarding their progress. So yes, and yeah, I mean that kind of segues quite neatly onto what I'd look to talk about next, really.
I have one more question.
Is there any more questions before I do that? Yeah.
Yep. How is the platform delivered? Drupal ?
How is it delivered?
I'm assuming how is it hosted, or how is it put together? What are you using in the background?
Sure. Oh, that might be a question I'd have to get from the tech team at the University of Cambridge. So I might have to get back to you on that one. But essentially, it's hosted by the University of Cambridge, and alongside the kind of other things that go to support that. So that, for example, there's a surveys tool. We're currently doing some surveys through the platform to get feedback from teachers and students. So if you have an account, please do give us your feedback through that survey, and also a kind of email ticketing system. But all of that is hosted by the University of Cambridge. I would have to check exactly what platform they're using for the site itself, but can certainly get back to you on that.
Great stuff. Thank you. You may continue.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so registration on the platform then, it's a completely free platform for anyone to use. It's designed, because we're DFE funded, it's designed for students and teachers in England, or at least it only covers the exam boards for, based in England at the moment. That may change at some point in the future, but for now, that's the way it is. Yes, you don't have to register. You can just go and have a look around and view some of the content and things like that. As soon as you actually want to use some of the kind of features or go to an event, then you will be prompted to register for an account, and it just asks you for a few details when you do that. You can select an exam board, and I can quickly show you what that looks like if I just change my screen. I think we've got a glimpse of it earlier, but if you're looking at a topic here, you can switch between AQA and OCR. But it's also worth saying that if you set your account, so if I went to my account and chose other rather than AQA and OCR, it means that whenever I look at a topic, I can switch between the exam boards when I'm on the topic page. If I go to my account and set my default as OCR or AQA, it means that it will just show me the content on this page. It won't give me this drop down to switch in between them. When you register, you're defaulted to a student account, and you have to request one as a teacher. And when you do that, we get a notification saying that you'd like a teacher account, and we just need to verify. Firstly, we have to verify your email address, which you should be prompted to do when you sign up in the first place. But we also need to verify that you are a teacher at the school that you say you are. So it does take a couple of days just for us to do that, and we do that by checking your email address and looking at the school website. So teacher tools, there is a load of features on the platform that you can use. A couple of things that I've already alluded to today. So I'm going to just kind of switch over to the teacher tools site to show you what it actually looks like. You can create a group as a teacher, and so I mentioned this already, but basically what you do is that you just give the group a name, and then you can start invite people to getting my words mixed up, excuse me. Once you set up your group, you can then invite people to join that group, and they give you permission to see their progress, and it also gives you permission as a teacher to set them questions. The other thing you can do when you create a group is you can share, you can add other colleagues to that group. So if there's more than one of you teaching the same group of students, then it enables you both to be able to view progress and to set the questions from a topic. I'll just show you what that looks like quickly. So you click on manage groups, you will see loads of groups on my account, I'm afraid, because we make them for each event. But it's a very simple process. I would just say, give my group a name. You will get to see my wonderful spelling. Virtual showcase. Now, if I click on create, it will give me this field. This link I can share with anybody. If they don't have an account already, then it will ask them to sign up and register for an account. And then when they do, it will take them to the page to give permission to you as a teacher to see their progress. If they already have an account, you can just send them this code. And then when they go in to log in, they just need to go to my account and enter that code to share and share their permissions and join that group. I just seen that question come in. I don't know at the moment if we're going with WJEC, but I think we have aspirations to have content from other exam boards as well at some point in the future. But in the current kind of funding cycle, which is up until 2022, we're just focused on England. But I would love to see WJEC there as well, because I went to school in Wales, so that would be a great thing. Once you've created a group, you can then, as I said, add managers. You can invite people to that group. You can also set them assignments, and what we mean by this is you can set them questions. So these are the game boards or sets of questions, if you like. You can also then view their progress, and you can download the results as a CSV file. So what I might do, just because I think we should have time, is I'm going to invite you all to join this group. Is there a way that I can paste this message, Tim? I think can I send this to everybody?
Yeah, you can put it into the chat, and if you go to the drop-down box on chat, you can send to the entire audience, and then they'll get that. Fantastic.
So if you don't have an account already, then it will ask you to register. If you do, then it should take you straight to that group. But I'll just show you quickly what you can do then. So I've created my group, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an assignment. So these are lots of different assignments that you see. You can choose from your pre-made game board. So these are the questions that are set as standard for each topic, or you can create your own. And this means that you can kind of mix and match different questions from different topics and build your own game board. And then when you create that game board, you can then set that as an assignment to the group that you've created. So I'm just going to quickly switch back to my slides to make sure I'm not leaping too far ahead, which I think I may be. So I have created a group. I haven't added another manager in this case, but I have invited you all now to join a group, and then we should be able to see you all in that group and view your progress. So it's just a bit of fun. If I set some questions, don't worry about doing them, but you should be able to see what it will look like for a student, for you when you have a group full of students. So your pre-made game boards, I'm just going to click here to give you an example. So this will give you a list of the exam boards and the different topics available. And you can preview a game board if you want to have a look at the questions, or if you're familiar with it already, you can just assign it straight away. So let's have a look at programming concepts from OCR. You can see, yes?
We've had a request for you to repaste that link in the chat, if that's possible, in a moment. Sorry to disturb.
No worries. So this is the game board for Programming Concepts GCSE Transition for OCR. You can see that I've completed one of the questions, but what I want to do here is set as an assignment. So I just click on there. It'll take me back to this set assignment page, and then I can choose my group. So here we go, CAS Virtual Showcase. I'll give you a deadline for tomorrow. And when I assign this game board, you should all then get a notification if you've joined that group that you've had a piece of work assigned. So there we go, I've done that. Don't worry about doing the question. But it's a very simple process. You don't have to set a deadline, but if you're setting questions for homework, for example, then this could be a really useful feature. You can also, you may have seen when I looked at the pre-made game board, you can duplicate and edit, and what that does is it imports the questions into the Create a Game Board page. So here it's a pretty simple process. What you can do is you can just give your game board that you want to build a name and then add a few questions. So I'll put, here we go with my spelling again, CAS Virtual Showcase 020220. Almost. Here's my game board name, and then what I want to do is I just want to start adding some questions. So if I'll click on add, I'll start with my programming concepts, and then it will come up with all the questions that are in that game board. It will show me if it's AQA or OCR, and then if I want to, I can just click on any particular question and just view it before I set it. So I just click on a few questions. You can have up to 10, but you can have any number between 1 and 10. These are the questions I want. That all looks great. Save game board, and then I want to set as assignment. So here's my new game board that I've created. Then it's the same process. I choose my group, give it a deadline if I want to, and hit assign. So once I've done that, I can then go and view my Markbook. So this is just a quick view of the questions that I've set, and it will show me who's in my group, whether they have done the question, whether they've got it right or wrong, and then it will give me an overview of my class. I can also download it as a CSV file if I want to, so it might integrate into other, not integrate as such, but I might be able to use that data in other platforms that I'm using in my teaching. I'm just conscious of time, so I'll do this fairly speedily. But what I'll do is I will just scroll down and see, here is my group that I've created. These are all groups that you can see here. So I have loads on my account, so apologies if it looks kind of a little bit messy. But what I'll do here is I'll drop down my CAS virtual group. Here's the game board, the set of questions that I've set you. So I can see here, and just to say, this is just a little bit of fun, so don't worry about the actual marks here, but what you can see is 6 of you have joined my group. It will show me if you've already done questions from this game board already, so it retains that data, but it will show me the questions themselves. So I can flick through the different questions and it will highlight them in the columns here. I can click and go and see what the question was again if I need to. But what I can see in this table is the people in my group, whether they've got it right or wrong, and it will also give me this gradient up here. So these gradients come in really useful when you're looking at the whole group. So you can sort by questions, and it will show me that Laura got 6 out of 9 questions right, and you can change how it's sorted, but it will show that in these different gradients of grey. So if it's 100%, it will be green, 75% dark grey, light grey, less than 75. White is not attempted, so if someone just skips past the question, it will show it as white. If they try the question, don't get it right, and decide to carry on instead of having another go at it, it will appear as red. There's also a couple of options here for colorblind view, which just gives you some patterns there, and percentage view as well. And finally, if I want to download this, then I can just click on this download CSV file, and then I've got the data in Excel or whatever I'm using. The only other thing that I wanted to share with you then is that you can see, you can click on someone's profile and see their progress. I don't want to do that with any of you now, obviously, because I don't want to share that data publicly, but it just shows you basically the number of questions that someone has done, the number of assignments that they have completed, and what they've been set. I can show you what it looks like for me, well, it can give you a sense of my progress. So if I click on my progress here, you can see some of my question activity, correct questions, attempted questions, and then it gives you some more data here. So all I would need to do to see that for one of my students is to click their name when I see it on the mark sheet, and it will take me to this page. What's coming next? Okay, very quickly. More questions, lots more questions, more types of questions as well. So there's a lot of multiple choice at the moment, so we're going to really kind of work on having more Parsons problems, more string questions, and there's also a Boolean logic editor, where you can pull different kind of algebraic characters and put them together to answer the questions. More of those as well. More quick questions, so these are the ones that are embedded in the topics. Explainer videos we're going to be doing, so these will be about different features, about how to use different features on the platform. We're going to be working on some coding challenges, which Diane is working on and doing some videos for as well. We are also going to be producing at-cost workbooks based on the content from the platform, so these will be available from September 2020 to use in the classroom. We are also currently piloting online mentoring for teachers and students. So for teachers, that's aimed at new teachers, teachers new to teaching A-level, and students is more targeted. We're really hoping to try and reach more, I guess, disadvantaged students, or students from disadvantaged backgrounds, excuse me, and for both mentoring, it's small group mentoring, and we're running it over 6 weeks, and each week someone is set a worksheet and a few questions from the platform. And I did also mention that we're currently doing some surveys to understand sort of the engagement and impact that using the learning platform or attending the events is having, and alongside that we're going to be inviting teachers who've used the platform a lot so far to join some focus groups, so we can understand a bit more about kind of the context and how it can be improved. We're going to be running those surveys annually for the remainder of the program, so really looking forward to hearing people's feedback and impact of using the platform so far. There's still time to complete those until the middle of this month, and then we'll be running them again next year. So if you do have an account, then please do those surveys when you get the prompt. Okay, I think that's me. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Yes, we've had one question in. It's asking around are private tutors, given the focus on tutoring, are private tutors able to enrol as teachers without ad.uk email addresses?
So private tutors, yes, I think so. I mean, I think what we would probably just do is ask if you could kind of provide a little bit of context for how you're using it, because from our kind of verification point of view, from a teacher, obviously we're looking, are you a teacher at a school? But if you're using it for private tutoring, then I think it would be yeah, it would be, you get a lot of use out of the platform in that context.
Cool.
So I think the best thing to do is to put in a teacher request and put in an explanation saying that you would that you use it for private tutoring but aren't associated with the school.
Yeah, so they can get in touch with you through the website.
Yes, yeah. There's a you can contact us directly. Shall I drop a email into here so I can?
Yeah, go for it. Because that's a really useful question, actually. There has been more focus on tutoring naturally because the whole homeschooling or being at home thing.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And I think it would as a government are putting up quite a lot of funding for kind of tutoring and stuff at the moment to help students get back into schooling and stuff. So I imagine private tutoring and one-to-one tutoring is a space that will be used a lot more, and that's certainly something that we would really strongly encourage.
Yeah, great, thank you. Other than that, lots of really good comments, lots of positivity about the platform. And my take on this platform is just that the way that you've managed to get that interaction between students and teachers in the development of it, that kind of unique interplay, it shows that the buy-in and the development is the interest of both of those parties equally, or almost feels like to me anyway. And I think that's a really great place to be. I imagine that, I imagine there are other A-level subjects who are going, can we have an Isaac in this? I know that there is, I hear that kind of stuff occasionally. But yeah.
I think it's the idea and the concept of it, which we have to sort of credit to Isaac Physics really, in pioneering, has certainly led to other topics. I know there's Isaac Chemistry. I don't know about Isaac Biology, but Isaac Computer Science is, we benefit a lot from their experience, and I think we're putting our kind of own spin on it a bit, really, and definitely having former A-level teachers as part of the team and how they would use the platform in their teaching has been a huge kind of benefit to us as well. Like even just the terminology that we're using for the different features, and that's something that we'd really like to hear. We really want to hear from more teachers as well, about how they're using it and how it can be improved, and how what other features or kind of, I guess, design elements are going to be useful for you. Yeah, so if anyone does have any suggestions or questions, please do get in touch. We really want to have an open dialogue with our community.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much, Fergus. That was great. And I always think it's a very bold thing when you do live demos and interactions, and actually you're getting 5 or 6 people being active and taking part. So that's really, really cool. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the attendees for doing that as well, who did.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
Cool. So coming up today, we have a fairly active day of webinars. So right now, Becky Peters is doing a session on Key Stage 3 curriculum. She's calling it Amazing CS in Key Stage 3. She knows how to market. That's going on right now. At 1 o'clock, we've got a session from 2 sessions, one from Donna Rawling on how to encourage resilience with primary school age learners, and a session run by Lucy Runham on Purple Mash and how to do wonderful things with Purple Mash. At 2 o'clock, the CAS Working Group Assessment Group, which I'll be chairing, is going to be summing up all the work that they've been doing over the last couple of weeks as part of CAS Virtual Showcase. And our final session is Corinne Sherman, who's going to be talking about computer science journey. So implementing, she calls it an intent, implementation, and impact. From year 7 all the way through to year 13, and how she does it at her school. So check out the Computing at School events site for all of those sessions and sign up if you haven't done so. When I close this down, you will get a link to a survey. So please do take 30 seconds of your time to click our ratings out of 5 and leave comments. And if you do have any tweets, as I say, I posted the Twitter handles in the chat. Please do say some nice things on Twitter using Phonic Fergus, Kaz Midlands, and Kaz Virtual 20. Apart from that, we're done for this session. Fergus, thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and thank you to all of you for attending today. And I look forward to seeing you at the next Kaz Virtual Showcase webinar. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.